Welcome to Understand All. I'm your host, Aslakir Gerleif. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating journey into the realm of belief bias, a cognitive phenomenon that affects us all. So, buckle up and get ready to challenge your own thinking. Imagine this. You're scrolling through your social media feed and come across a headline that perfectly aligns with your views. Without a second thought, you hit the share button. But wait, have you actually fact-checked the information? This, my friends, is belief bias in action. Belief bias is the tendency to accept or reject an argument based on whether it aligns with our pre-existing beliefs, rather than evaluating its logical validity. It's a cognitive bias that's deeply ingrained in our minds, affecting our decision-making in ways we often don't even realize. According to a study published in the journal Nature Human Behavior, cognitive biases, including belief bias, are prevalent across different cultures and affect decision-making processes universally. This means that no matter where you're from, you're likely to fall prey to belief bias at some point. But how exactly does belief bias work in our brains? Imagine your beliefs as a set of filters through which you perceive the world. When new information comes in, your brain automatically runs it through these filters. If the information matches your beliefs, it passes through easily, like water through a sieve. But if it contradicts your beliefs, your brain puts up a barrier, making it harder for that information to get through. This process can significantly impair our logical reasoning. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that people are more likely to accept invalid arguments if the conclusion aligns with their pre-existing beliefs. In other words, we often let our beliefs override logic, leading us to make irrational decisions. But belief bias doesn't just affect our personal lives. It has far-reaching implications in various fields. In the medical world, a study in the Journal of General Internal Medicine found that belief bias can lead doctors to make diagnostic errors when their personal beliefs about symptoms or diseases interfere with objective analysis. Similarly, in the legal system, research in the Law and Human Behavior Journal indicates that belief bias can influence jury decisions, with jurors more likely to convict if the evidence aligns with their preconceived notions of guilt. Even in the realm of finance, belief bias can lead us astray. A study in the Journal of Behavioral Finance found that investors may ignore logical analysis in favor of decisions that align with their beliefs, potentially leading to poor financial choices. So, what's going on in our brains when belief bias takes hold? Recent neuroimaging studies have shed light on the neural mechanisms behind this cognitive quirk. It turns out that the brain regions involved in belief formation and maintenance are often distinct from those responsible for logical reasoning. When our beliefs are challenged, these areas can clash, leading to the mental gymnastics we perform to maintain our preconceptions. But here's the thing. Belief bias isn't just an individual problem. It's a societal one too. In today's digital age, social media algorithms often reinforce our pre-existing beliefs by showing us content that aligns with our views. This creates echo chambers where our biases are amplified, making it harder for us to consider alternative perspectives. Moreover, belief bias can have serious consequences when it comes to pressing global issues like climate change. A study in the Global Environmental Change Journal found that individuals are more likely to accept or reject climate science based on their pre-existing beliefs, rather than evaluating the evidence objectively. So what can we do to combat belief bias? The first step is awareness. By recognizing that we all have biases, we can start to question our own thinking and actively seek out information that challenges our beliefs. Additionally, research in the Journal of Educational Psychology suggests that critical thinking training can help reduce belief bias by enhancing our ability to evaluate arguments based on logic rather than personal beliefs. This means that by honing our critical thinking skills, we can become better at spotting flaws in arguments, even when they align with our views. Another strategy is to expose ourselves to diverse perspectives. By engaging with people who hold different beliefs and considering their viewpoints, we can broaden our own understanding and reduce the influence of belief bias. But what about the future of belief bias research? As emerging technologies like artificial intelligence become more prevalent, understanding and mitigating cognitive biases will be crucial. After all, if we're going to rely on AI systems to make important decisions, we need to ensure that they're not perpetuating the same biases that humans struggle with. Ethical considerations also come into play here. As we develop technologies that can potentially manipulate or influence beliefs, we'll need to grapple with the moral implications and establish guidelines to prevent misuse. So, where do we go from here? The key is to keep learning, questioning, and challenging our own beliefs. By staying curious and open-minded, we can start to chip away at the power of belief bias and make more rational, evidence-based decisions. But don't just take my word for it. I encourage you to explore this fascinating topic further. Read the studies I've mentioned, engage in discussions with people who hold different views, and most importantly, reflect on your own thought processes. You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself. And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope this deep dive into belief bias has given you some food for thought and inspired you to question your own thinking. Remember, the first step to overcoming bias is recognizing that we all have it. So stay curious, keep an open mind, and never stop learning. Until next time, this is Aslakir Gerleif, signing off from Understand All. Thanks for joining me on this intellectual journey, and I can't wait to explore more fascinating topics with you in the future. Stay tuned!